Hello, and thank you so much for joining the One Roof Community Housing Energy Efficiency webinar. My name is Tyler Stark, and I'm interning at One Roof this summer, focusing on energy efficiency projects across our community land trust. For a little bit of background, One Roof Community Housing is a nonprofit that offers housing services and aims to build and sustain affordable homes and healthy neighborhoods. We were formed by the merger of Northern Communities Land Trust and Neighborhood Housing Services in 2012. We strive to make it as easy as possible for people in Duluth and the surrounding communities to purchase, renovate, maintain, and keep a home for as long as they like through the Community Land Trust framework. Today, we're going to discuss energy efficiency measures and financial incentives that make it possible to improve your home's performance while decreasing your utility bills. There are a lot of programs out there that can make it more cost-effective to work on energy efficiency improvements, but it can be a lot to navigate. The goal for today is to sift through the best resources available so that you can take concrete steps towards your next project. A quick roadmap so you know what's to come. We are going to start out with a very brief overview of home energy efficiency and upgrades that you may want to consider, as well as some low or no cost assistance that is available for home energy audits and weatherization. We'll also talk about some rehab loans that are available, and then we'll cover the Inflation Reduction Act tax credits and rebates. We'll also talk about rebates that you can get from your utility company, which you can then combine with other incentives to maximize your savings. First, let's talk about some big picture energy efficiency concepts. The most important part of your home's efficiency is the thermal envelope, which is the box that keeps conditioned air in and unconditioned air out. In the summer, it keeps you warm, and in the winter it keeps you warm, and in the summer, it keeps you cool. The harder it is for air or heat to enter or escape the thermal envelope, the more efficient your home is and the less money you spend on heating or cooling. If you're interested in decreasing your energy bill or reducing your impact on the environment, a good first step is to make sure your windows, doors, walls, and roof are efficient at blocking heat and air. This may mean replacing air gaps or investing in new doors and windows. If your doors and windows are already efficient, it may be worth looking into adding or replacing insulation in the wall, floor, or roof. Besides improving the thermal envelope, there are a few other ways to improve your home's energy efficiency. Appliances use a lot of energy, especially old refrigerators, so upgrading to more new efficient appliances can save a lot of electricity. Additionally, smart thermostats make it easier to eliminate unnecessary energy use, like keeping the house warm when nobody's home. You can also reduce hot water use with some more efficient shower heads and sometimes faucets. Finally, improving your home's whole heating and cooling system, such as by investing in a heat pump, can dramatically bring down utility bills. We'll talk about heat pumps in a few minutes. Though there is upfront cost involved with all of these projects, these upgrades will often allow you to pay less for energy over time. A great first step towards improving the energy efficiency of your home and decreasing your utility bills is getting a home energy audit. These can take the form of a basic walkthrough or a more in-depth process with a blower door test and infrared imaging to find out how tight your thermal envelope is and where your problem areas are. You can use home energy audits and energy tracking tools to see where your thermal envelope could use improvement, track factors that affect your energy use, learn what times of day and year your energy use is highest, and identify low or no cost ways to decrease your bill. You can pay for a home energy audit, but several organizations offer them at free or reduced prices. For those in Duluth, Equilibrium 3 offers free home energy assessments for households that meet income guidelines. Elsewhere in the state, if you're a customer of CenterPoint Energy or Excel Energy, the Center for Energy and Environment offers home energy audits. These start at $70 but are reduced in price in some cities and free if you make under 80% of the area median income. If you're a customer of Ottertail Power, they have a free house therapy program for income qualified households. Unfortunately, I can't talk about all 300 some utility companies in the state, but there's a good chance that your local utility offers some kind of home energy audit assistance. Just look up the name of your utility or city and the words home energy audit. Many utilities also have free energy tracking applications, such as Minnesota Power's My Account or CenterPoint Energy's My Energy Analyzer, that will allow you to analyze your own usage. Finally, if you do need to pay for a home energy audit, you can take advantage of a 30% tax credit under the Inflation Reduction Act. We'll talk about that more in a few slides. The credit expires at the end of the year, so now is a really great time to take this first step. As I mentioned before, the first step to making your home more efficient is to improve your thermal envelope, which is why it's important to get a home energy audit to see where you can make improvements. Oftentimes, you'll get the biggest bang for your buck through weatherization, like sealing gaps, installing better windows and doors, or adding insulation. There are a couple places to get assistance with this kind of home improvement. First, if you're in Duluth, Equilibrium 3 offers free weatherization and air sealing for households that meet income guidelines. In Lake, Cook, and St. Louis counties, the Arrowhead Economic Opportunity Agency, or AEOA, offers free home weatherization services for those who make under 200% of the federal poverty income. If you're outside of those areas, the state of Minnesota offers some home weatherization services for income qualified homeowners and renters, as does the federal Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Besides air sealing, this federal program can also help with energy costs or energy-related home repairs. Your utility may also have some weatherization resources. This is often bundled with home energy audits. For example, Ottertail Power's House Therapy program includes both home energy audits and weatherization assistance. If you can't find anything through your utility, the State Weatherization Assistance Program is your best bet. Besides improving your home's thermal envelope through air sealing or weatherization, another project we talk about a lot is installing a heat pump. An air source heat pump, or ASHP, is an air conditioner that also heats. Instead of directly heating air or water like a traditional heating system, it moves heat around to where you want it, which is more efficient. In Minnesota, you would want a cold climate air source heat pump. This kind of heat pump heats efficiently down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, so you would still want to keep a secondary heating system. Even though you would still use this secondary heating system on really cold days, you could save 30 to 55% in heating costs throughout the year. The amount you might save on heating is heavily dependent on what you're replacing. If you have electric resistance, propane, or fuel oil right now, the potential cost savings may be very high. If you're already on natural gas, not so much. The Minnesota Air Source Heat Pump Collaborative has a cost of heating tool to help you figure out how much you would save based on your existing heating system. That's linked here on the slide. Installing a heat pump is generally a much more expensive project than improving your insulation, windows, or doors, but it can unlock serious monthly savings depending on your current situation. There are also rebates available from the Inflation Reduction Act, and many utility providers make buying heat pumps more economical. If you're interested in learning more about heat pumps, Clean Energy Resource Teams, or CERTs, has a great online guide that I'll refer you to. One more general note on energy efficiency. Whenever you're working on an energy efficiency project or just investing in a new product for your home, look for the Energy Star symbol. Energy Star is a federal government program that certifies a product's energy efficiency. To qualify for the rebates and tax credits that we cover later, you usually need to use Energy Star certified products. The Energy Star rating can cover appliances, insulation, windows, doors, water heaters, ceiling fans, light fixtures, electronics, and more. There's a nifty product finder on the Energy Star website that can help you find eligible items. Now, I'm going to talk about some more specific financial mechanisms that are available to you. If you need a loan for an energy efficiency project, or any project, One Roof offers lending loans for homeowners of nearly every income level in Duluth, Superior, and the surrounding area. As a community development financial institution, or CDFI, we can offer loans that banks and credit unions cannot, and with more accommodating terms. Rehab loans can cover the energy efficiency projects we've been talking about, as well as a deck or porch repair, bathrooms and kitchen remodels, basement finishing, and more. One Roof also has purchase assistance loans available. The Center for Energy and Environment also works with the Minnesota Housing Finance Agency to offer a suite of statewide energy loans for households with eligible incomes. These loans can be used for all the energy efficiency projects I've talked about so far, and more. They also have solar loans and home improvement loans. If you're thinking about undertaking a larger project, I would highly suggest contacting the folks at CEE or One Roof. Okay, now let's talk about the Inflation Reduction Act. This is one of the most significant sources of funding available to you. The Inflation Reduction Act, or IRA, was signed on August 16, 2022. It was a huge bill with a lot of compromises, but the main goals are to clean up electricity, electrify everything, and focus on equity so that everybody can participate in the green transition. Before I get into the specifics, I want to point out that one useful tool can help you identify savings opportunities, and it's called the Rewiring America Savings Calculator. It does a great job of breaking down the tax credits and rebates available for specific appliances and home upgrades. For example, if you want to get that new refrigerator, you can find out exactly how much money is available to help with that purchase. That calculator is linked here. With the Inflation Reduction Act, there are two big tax credits that are relevant for energy efficiency improvements. The way tax credits work is by reducing the amount of income tax you owe the IRS dollar for dollar. That means if you do not owe the IRS very much income tax, they may be less useful. One very important note, as of the July 4th signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, these two tax credits are going to be terminated at the end of 2025 instead of 2032 as originally planned. That means that now is the time to act if you want to take advantage of these savings opportunities, which I'm now going to actually get into in detail. The first of these tax credits is the Residential Clean Energy Credit. It gives you 30% back on energy systems like solar, energy storage, even energy storage for non-solar systems, and ground source heat pumps. It's also turnkey, meaning it applies to all necessary costs for the project, not just the energy system product itself. Unlike the other tax credit, there's no dollar cap on how much money you can get back from this tax credit. You also don't have to have a certain income to qualify for it. So this is a really great credit if you're thinking about installing solar or backup energy storage. The second credit is the Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit. This is also a 30% tax credit, but instead of energy systems, it is for qualified improvements to that building envelope, like insulation, air sealing, windows, doors, and most everything we talked about earlier, with a $1,200 cap that resets each year. Under the $1,200 cap, up to $150 is also available for a 30% tax credit on home energy audits. This credit also gives 30% back for heat pumps and biomass stoves and boilers, with a $2,000 cap that resets each year for those things. That's a lot to take in, but just remember that you can use the Rewiring America Savings Calculator to tell you exactly what is available for each item you're thinking about purchasing. Together, these tax credits offer what amounts to a 30% discount on most energy efficiency related projects. Just remember that the tax credit is only useful if you are already paying income taxes equal to or above the credit amount. Now, let's move on to rebates funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. There are four big energy efficiency rebates that are planned but not yet available. The Inflation Reduction Act gives states money to administer rebate programs for energy efficiency projects, and in Minnesota, this is done through the Department of Commerce. The funding for these programs was put on pause by an executive order in January, but they are in the process of getting approved and a phased rollout is under development. The programs are expected to be available across Minnesota by the end of the year. In contrast to tax credits, rebates give you direct cash back after you make a purchase, making it easier to afford highly efficient technology. Some are given at the point of sale, and others are given via a check in the mail after the purchase. If you don't pay as much money in income tax, and thus tax credits aren't very useful to you, then rebates are your best chance to find savings. If you can use tax credits, you can stack rebates on top of them to maximize your savings. Now, to tell you what these rebates actually are, the first upcoming rebate is the Home Electrification and Appliance Rebate Program, or HERE. This is for low to moderate income households only, meaning less than 150% area median income, with the full rebate only available if you make under 80% of the area median income. The rebate offers up to $14,000 back on appliances, heat pumps, LED lighting, wiring, electrical panel upgrades, insulation, and air sealing. For some of these, you can install the product yourself and still get the rebate. However, you can't claim the rebate for projects that you've done in the past. The second upcoming rebate is the Home Efficiency Rebate Programs, known as HOMES. This rebate is for substantial improvements to your home's energy efficiency and prioritizes air sealing, insulation, and other weatherization projects. The way this might work is you get a home energy audit to figure out what your baseline is, and then you use tax credits and rebates to help pay for energy efficiency improvements. If you can prove that you saved a certain amount of energy, you can qualify for this rebate, which helps pay for the upgrades. Unlike the first rebate, this will be available for all incomes, and you can claim a rebate for projects all the way back to 2022. You do need to work with a certified contractor to get this rebate. If you can prove that the project led to a 20% energy savings or more, you can get between $2,000 or half the project cost and $6,000 or the full project cost, depending on your income. If you improve by 35% or more, those numbers go up to $4,000 and $12,000. Again, if you meet the income requirements, we're talking about the total cost of the project being covered, if you can prove substantial energy efficiency improvements. Two other rebates that will be available are the heat pump rebate program, which gives up to $4,000 toward heat pump purchases, and the residential electrical panel upgrade grant program, which gives up to $3,000. Like the other rebates from the Commerce Department, these rebates are not yet available. However, they are also expected to launch very soon. Finally, let's talk about some utility rebates. Most utility companies in Minnesota offer rebates for energy efficiency and solar upgrades. Today, I'm going to talk about what's available from Minnesota Power, CenterPoint Energy, Xcel Energy, Otter Tail Power Company, Connexus Energy, Wright Hennepin Electric, and Alexandria Light and Power. If you aren't a customer of one of these utilities, there's still a good chance that rebates are available. For example, I know that all of the utilities, including municipal electricity providers that serve One Roof Community Land Trust homeowners, offer energy efficiency rebates. To find out about yours, check your utility's website. At the end of the presentation, we'll also talk about a tool that can help you find these local rebates. Utility rebates are available for all incomes unless noted otherwise. They are also smaller than the state rebates that we just discussed. They usually won't come close to covering the entire cost of the project, but if you are considering an upgrade anyways, don't forget to take advantage of them. Another difference between utility rebates and state rebates is that the utility rebates are usually more immediate and product specific, whereas the state incentives may be larger but require income verification and more extensive filing. However, all of these utility rebates are available right now and are unlikely to be phased out. First, let's talk about Minnesota Power, which is the utility that serves most one-roof homeowners. Minnesota Power currently offers rebates on appliances, heating and cooling systems, thermostats, windows, and water heaters. These rebates are available for all income levels. If you live in Proctor, Proctor Public Utilities will also honor these rebates from Minnesota Power. Minnesota Power also has a program called Solar Sense, which gives a rebate based on the output of your new solar system. It's capped at $5,000, or 60% of the installed cost, and applications are on a first-come, first-served basis until the money runs out. For SolarSense, there's an income limit of 150% of the area median income. CenterPoint Energy also has an extensive system of energy efficiency rebates. For example, you could get $3,000 for insulation projects, $1,100 for a ducted air source heat pump, $1,000 for a combi boiler, $250 for a new water heater, $75 for fireplaces, and $75 for an Energy Star rated clothes dryer. You just need to fill out a short form and mail it to their office. They also have a program called Easy Pay that offers favorable financing for energy efficiency projects with partnering contractors, and the loan repayment is done on your gas bill. You can still get the rebates too. Remember that CenterPoint Energy and Xcel Energy customers can get reduced price or free home energy audits through the Center for Energy and Environment with their Home Energy Squad program. In addition to the audit, homeowners within CenterPoint Energy service area that make less than 80% of the area median income can have at least 50% of costs paid for energy efficiency projects. Xcel Energy has a similar suite of energy efficiency rebates that cover AC units, natural gas furnaces, smart thermostats, water heaters, electrical panels, and more. Heat pump rebates range from $500 to $2,000 depending on what kind of system you get. You can also get up to $1,200 or 40% of the project cost covered for wall or attic insulation. Xcel Energy also has an income qualified program for homeowners making under 80% of the area median income. If you qualify, an energy expert will come to your house, install LED light bulbs, and help you determine if you qualify for other free services. They can also offer free appliance recycling and, in some cases, replace your heating or cooling equipment for free. Otter Tail Power Company offers rebates for pretty much everything, including $2,800 for insulation projects, $50 for most appliances, and variable rebates on electric heating and cooling equipment. They also have rebates on electric lawnmowers, lighting, smart thermostats, thermal storage equipment, and windows. Connexus Energy doesn't have as robust of a rebate program. It's mostly limited to small rebates on water heaters and outdoor equipment. However, they do offer reduced rates if you opt into their air source heat pump program, and there's an alternative billing structure if you think you can shift your energy consumption to outside of the 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. peak period. With this program, the rate you pay is much lower for off-peak hours, but elevated for peak hours. Wright Hennepin Electric offers a $1,250 electric water heater rebate and an air source heat pump rebate of up to $1,300. Both rebates also include monthly credits of $5 to $10 on your bill. Like Conexus Energy, there is also a peak demand heating program that can allow you to pay less per kilowatt hour to heat your home. And here's the last one before we wrap up. Alexandria Light and Power is pretty typical of what a small municipal utility will have to offer. That is, the rebates are smaller and more limited in scope, but almost every utility will have at least something on the basics: appliances, heat pumps, and hot water heaters. Alexandria Light and Power has $40 rebates for central AC or heat pump tune-ups, $25 for most Energy Star rated appliances, and variable rebates for heating and cooling equipment. Okay, so to summarize, there are a lot of funding sources available to help you improve the energy efficiency of your home. Home energy audits are a great way to learn what upgrades make the most sense for you, and you may be able to get one for free depending on your area and income. The next step is usually improving the thermal envelope through better windows, doors, and insulation, and there are several organizations, including nonprofits, utilities, and the state and federal government, that may do this for free. For bigger projects, One Roof Community Housing and the Center for Energy and Environment offer home rehab loans. The Inflation Reduction Act unlocks 4 main sources of support for your energy efficiency projects. The 2 tax credits, the Residential Clean Energy Credit and the Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit, are set to expire at the end of 2025. The Residential Clean Energy Credit gives a 30% tax credit on the home energy system improvements. This is available to everyone, regardless of income, and has no dollar limit. The Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit gives a 30% tax credit on qualified improvements to the building envelope, home energy audits, and heat pumps. You don't need to remember the names of these credits, just remember that you can get 30% back for home energy systems, energy audits, and improvements to your thermal envelope. There are also 2 upcoming state rebate programs, which should be ready by the end of the year. The Home Electrification and Appliance Rebate Program, or HERE, will give up to $14,000 back on a variety of energy efficiency projects for low to moderate income households. The Home Efficiency Rebate Program, or HOMES, will offer substantial rebates on whole home energy improvement projects. State rebates will also be available for heat pumps and electrical panel upgrades. Finally, most utility companies have extensive rebate programs on energy efficient appliances, heating and cooling systems, and even solar systems. You can stack these up with rebates from the state or other sources to maximize your savings. Before we wrap up, I just want to share some helpful resources. The point of this presentation was to sort this stuff for you, so don't feel like you need to do additional research beyond what we've talked about today. However, for the recording and for anybody else who is interested in learning more, I want to point out a few websites. Desire, or the Database of State Incentives for Renewables and Efficiency, is a comprehensive source of information on incentives and policies that support renewable energy and energy efficiency. Even though it has state in the name, this resource includes federal and state level incentives as well as rebates from utility companies and other opportunities. You can filter by location, project type, and other variables to narrow your search. If you're interested in a topic that we didn't cover today, such as incentives for electric vehicles or rebates from utility companies that we haven't talked about, it may be worth checking Desire. Just plug in your zip code and you'll get a list of everything in your area. Again, here is also a link to the Rewiring America Savings Calculator. The information on the calculator is nothing new from what we talked about today. It's just a nice way to see it all in one place and have your savings quantified. It's an especially good way to understand the Inflation Reduction Act rebates and tax credits. Third, CERTS, or the Clean Energy Resource Teams, has a treasure trove of accessible articles on energy efficiency, lighting, heat pumps, appliances, solar, and other funding sources. If you want to read more about the Inflation Reduction Act, solar, heat pumps, or energy efficiency strategies, CERTS is a great resource and they have really awesome articles. Additional links to helpful resources can be found on the One Roof website, including a whole bunch of stuff that is not related to energy efficiency, but you may find useful. Finally, if you're getting started planning a project and want to take advantage of the state rebate program that's coming up, you can use this link on the slide here to stay up to date on the program's rollout. And with that, we're all done. Thank you for joining me for this webinar, and please do not hesitate to reach out to One Roof if you have any questions.